Do you think fiction or entertainment is getting softer recently? Because I saw an interesting article from Genrobuchi.
Oh, cool.
I think I read the same article.
Oh, was it this?
I think I did a video on it. Yeah.
Joey knows what I'm talking about. Genrobuchi, who famously wrote Madoka Magica, Fate Zero,
Sayano
Uta, someone who is had some. His stories are, let's say, not the easiest a lot of times on the emotions.
Yeah, they're pretty intense.
They're pretty intense.
Yeah.
And can you pull up the article?
I think he said something like, because I did a video on this, because I found it really interesting. He said that people used to seek, this is the exact article. Yeah, people used to seek poison in fiction, and now people just want the antidote to reality.
And I saw that as a quote.
That goes fucking hard.
It goes so hard.
That goes fucking hard.
That's why he's the GOAT, man.
That's why he's the GOAT.
I read that and I'm like, shit, he's right.
He's right.
He's right.
I fully agree with how he's saying it. Yeah.
Because like so many stories nowadays and so much entertainment. Before you'd kind of like look for like really these ideas that would like challenge you and really like make you feel like a lot of things, a lot of darker emotions maybe.
I'm gonna go toilet, but I'm gonna think about this.
I did a video on this because I not only agree with what he was saying, but I think it's also a really good way of just kind of expressing, or I guess realizing that because the world has gotten shittier and shittier, regardless of what walk of life you are walking. And obviously people run to fiction and people consume fiction as either a way to, I guess experience things that are outside of their reality.
Yeah, and right. I think more than ever, because I've been thinking about this a while, and when this article came out, I was like, that's actually exactly what I've been thinking. People more and more are looking for escapism.
Yeah.
I think that's why fantasy is so like, it is getting almost like its second renaissance.
Yeah, that's
especially
why,
in the anime field.
and that's why sci-fi died.
Yeah.
Because
exactly.
to a lot of people now, it's not science fiction, it's science reality.
Yeah, and they want anything they can to escape the shittiness of what they view as the real world, and they want, and I can't blame them because I get it, man.
Yeah, I totally
like
get it.
in your fiction, you always seek what you don't have, right? And a lot of people now are just seeking stories that make them forget about some of the, let's say, harsh moments of reality and harsh pieces of actual.
But what I also found interesting as well is that like, the world has gotten shittier and shittier. That's definitely true. But like, it's not to say that back when Sayano came out, or during the early 2000s, 2010s, it's not like people weren't also already living shitty lives as well, like from their perspective, right?
Yeah.
And yet still people would run to these kinds of more, I guess, like conceptually challenging, or I guess emotionally challenging shows like Sayonota or like Madoka, that would, I guess, like people would consume those not just as a way to like consume good, well-written fiction, but also a lot of people would, I feel, use those kinds of harder to digest emotionally types of fiction to kind of reflect upon their own life.
Yeah.
In some sense, right? Like, maybe they would see something in a certain character going through a hard time, and they would use that to reflect upon their life, and maybe certain decisions that certain characters would make in these hard situations, they would go, oh, okay, maybe that's something I can learn from, whether it be in a positive way or a negative way. But now it seems like people don't even want to retrospectively look at themselves through fiction anymore. It's just like they want this clear-cut wall between the fiction that they're consuming and their real world. It's like completely two separate realities, if you can call it that. Which I find very interesting, right? Because it's not like emotionally challenging narratives are completely gone. Like, obviously, there's still a lot of like great emotionally challenging fiction that's written in Japan and outside of Japan that, can get people to retrospectively look at their own lives or reflect upon their own lives, but it's just not the forefront anymore.
Yeah, and I know there's probably going to be a few people who can name off a bunch of different shows or media that go against this quote.
We're
not talking about like the general trend and the general vibe we get from what people are, what people are seeking, because I've seen this happen in a lot of different genres where it's I mean, I don't know if it's just me or I don't know if it's just what I watch, but I generally don't watch a lot of darker stuff anymore. Or maybe it's because I'm just not as exposed to as much darker stuff, or that's not what gets popular. But the genre I think of most recently is this is going to go on a fucking tangent, but it's the fucking romance genre, man. The big trend in the romance genre is, you know the type of romance fan I am. I love my drama. I love my conflicts. I love the spice, I should say it. But a lot of modern romances are just very like, here's a guy, here's a girl, they vibe with each other. Not much conflict, not much.
Very happy-go-lucky.
Will they? Won't they? And it's just a very comfortable, wholesome romance, right? And I'm just like, that's not the type of romance that I like. I look for, but my God, I think about it, and I'm like, okay, it kind of makes sense why this is the kind of romance that is popular nowadays, because people more than ever are looking for a connection. You know, they're looking.
Do you think people are also just looking for something that gives them a sense of like familiarity as well?
Yes and no. People say I don't know who told me this quote, but a lot of times people say they want something new. And then something new gets made, something completely new gets made,
and they won't watch it.
And they won't watch it.
Yeah.
People want something. People want new experiences packaged as something familiar, right? So the way I see it is, people don't want something completely new. But if it's something familiar enough for them to grasp conceptually, but also give them a new experience somewhere, that's where the middle ground lies in it. I think that's what, and you know, I'm the same way. I hear about a new thing. You could be anything. Doesn't even need to be media. It could be fucking food, right? You have like a new cuisine, and you're like, oh, they're using that meat. Oh, I'm not sure about that. You know, but if they're fucking cooking beef, chicken, or pork, but like with like new spices and new flavors, then you're like, oh shit, okay, this fucking bangs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
And I think that's just how humans are programmed. You know.
What do you think, Connor?
I don't know. This is a tough one. Can we scroll down a little bit more the article? I just want to see where. Oh, that's it. Okay.
That's it. Yeah.
It's this is such a really fascinating topic. Because I think there's so much more to it than just people are depressed because the world is shit.
Yeah.
Because there's so much. Why is the world shit? You know, like what reasons? But I also feel that like media companies are generally a lot more scared of putting out things that are divisive or controversial, because now, you know, back in the day, if you published a game or whatever, or you know, remember when they would release like, what do they release? Like Manhunt on PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
That was a game that got banned, right? So all you do is just kill people.
Yeah.
People wouldn't be like, wow, I'm boycotting my PlayStation. I'm gonna throw all my Sony games out the window.
Yeah.
They would just be like, this game is wrong. This game should be banned. End of story.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go play something else.
Yeah, no one would ever dare be like, and even then, the only people who wanted it banned were like age rating boards.
Yeah.
People didn't fucking care.
Yeah,
like,
the average person didn't care.
If you released a game that was like controversial, they wouldn't then attack the company.
Yeah.
But now fans have learned that if you just make like, if you run campaigns of like harassing, you know, you can get companies to fold on things.
Yeah.
And so now there's a huge amount of like backlash for everything. You know, and this has mainly come from like the political climate that we're in. This is kind of all started with there. But there also has been a really big concerted effort to limit what you can and can't talk about in media, right? Like that's a thing that's happening more and more as authoritarianism is getting more popular. Sorry, I know it's fucking politics. I know it's lame, but it affects everything that we love and do in our life. You know, it's unfortunately kind of seeping into our world where like, okay, the stories are getting safer because the companies have to be safer, because the companies don't want backlash, because governments are putting more pressure on them, you know, stuff like this. Whereas, you know, a lot of people see Japan as being like, it's free. You can do whatever you want. It's like, bro, they're shackled to the shareholders. They need to make something that prints money.
I mean, there's a reason why there hasn't been anything like a Sayonota since.
Yeah, this shit don't make
Yeah.
money. That's just the truth. Sayonota probably made a bit of money back in the day, but that's just the medium it was delivered on. Like a game like this just simply wouldn't.
Well,
make
also
a crazy amount of money.
it was just completely out of the norm in
Yeah.
terms of like presentation and story. Like there hasn't been, and I don't think there ever will be a game like Sayonota ever again.
Well, because I think a lot of modern younger people and audiences, well, older people too, have been like, they're like not brainwashed, but like fucking coached into like seeing things that are problematic and thinking like, what is this?
Yeah.
This is not a reflection of me or my character. It's like, bro, you played a game. It's like, if I played Sino Uta, doesn't mean I'm a fan. I'm a number one like stan of Uta. I love everything about it. It's like, I experienced the story that was on offer.
Yeah.
And I think people are afraid to jump or be seen playing games like this because they're like, it's like, bro, that is not even remotely close to the truth. And when you boil down conversations like that of discussing media like this, you are absolutely robbing any nuance in any way to discuss these things.
I think it was interesting, Joey, when you said earlier about people wanting that separation between reality and fiction.
Yeah.
Because I think that is true and false at the same time. Because I think in some ways, people put themselves into fiction way more than they ever used to.
Oh, yeah.
Like, my God, if you clown on a fictional character, before you'd be like, it'd just be all fun and games because it's like, oh, you fucking hate my favorite main character? All right, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
But
I still like him though.
Yeah.
It's identity now.
But now it's like, oh shit, you are clowning on part of my identity and part of myself, you know, even more so. They see themselves in this, you know, as they see themselves represented as this character. To the point where attacking this character is attacking almost part of their values and stuff like that. And I think that's where you get a lot more heated discussions online because when you're criticizing, even if you're criticizing a fictional character nowadays, it's almost like to the fans, to the mega fans, you are criticizing a real person. You know, you're criticizing Michael, you know, for example.
Right?
My favorite anime character, Michael.
Yeah. I mean,
but you're right. You're spot on. I think people do. They
Yeah,
contextualize the things they like in themselves.
Yeah.
And when you don't like it, give reasons, whether it's unnecessarily harsh or not. You get offended. And they just need to fucking stop being so fucking soft. Stop fucking having every piece of media you consume be your identity.
Yeah, so
Get a
then would you
fucking
say then that the problem then there lies that people are putting too much of themselves into fiction?
Oh, bro, for me, I'm like, I don't think people can separate fiction and reality anymore, man. In a lot of senses.
Yeah.
You know, I just said, you know, if we've gotten to this point in media where people, you know, some people, I'm not saying this is the majority, but some people will judge you over the media that you watch. And I'm like, bro, that's fucked up.
ridiculous.
Well, I mean, it's become, we have like taught people online, you are only as valuable as a person online, as a fan, if you can prove you're a real fan. You've put the hours and you know everything. It's like we have like whipped each other into being like fans, like professional stans of either games or media. It's like, oh, you're a fake fan? Oh, I would rather die than be a fake fan of the things I love because I'm a real fan of everything I love. Look, I've got 5,000 hours in this game. It's like, why does that matter? Like, this literally doesn't matter.
Who are you trying to prove?
I feel like it's a reactionary counter movement to like what, you know, kind of what happened when your media kind of gets popular. You get new people coming into like, that's what fandoms are. They are communities. They are spaces. And when you get a fandom that expands to a whole new height, you're gonna get people that maybe you don't vibe with anymore. You know, maybe before, I mean, especially in the anime fandom, we felt this. The anime community and the anime fandom was very, very different growing up than it is today.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And I think it's become a counter movement against just the exponential growth that their fandoms have had, right? Because what people really want to find is connection and community, like everything. The problem is when it becomes a fucking witch hunt, which I have felt in like
when it goes from when it goes from a community to a cult, basically.
Yeah, I mean the communities have been like whipped up and trained by like fucking like loud voices in the space. They're like, we always got to have an enemy. We always got to find
It's
someone.
always an us versus them.
Someone always has to be the enemy every day of the week, and people don't even realize they're being fucking used and played like this shit. It's depressing as shit.
Well, it's always a red flag for me. Biggest red flag for me, right, is when someone brings up a problem, right? You're like, there are a lot of people that can criticize certain fandoms or certain media or something, right? But when there is something to get angry about every other day, that's when I'm like, oh, I'm being sold a product, and that product is rage, right? Do you know what I mean? Where I look at some of these voices, and I'm like, surely there is not this many things to be angry about. I mean, there are some things, Lego scandal. Some things where you're like, that's fucked up. That's fucked up. That someone should be talking about this.
People need to go to jail for that.
Yeah. And then there are other topics where I'm like, what
why are we this
I saw like some VTuber drama, right? VTuber drama. And this VTuber is, they're relatively large. Mm-hmm. But the amount of impressions they were getting on like the drama surrounding them in this particular space was so much more than they would ever have on their own. Mm-hmm. So like clearly there's been some commodification here of dunking on a person or finding like a narrative here that people will just jump on because they're like, all right, well, what is it this week? Last week we had this. Yeah. What's it this week? Who are we jumping on this time? It's like people don't realize they're being absolutely whipped up and played into doing this shit. And so I think rightfully so. It's like, why the fuck would I want to play Sanity when I can just go and see the worst people I've ever met in my life on Twitter in 5 minutes? I don't need to play a game to see like a horrible person. I go on Twitter, bro. I see the most disgusting human behavior known to man. People posting like dead pictures of people, tragedies, horrific behavior.
Yeah.
And like manipulating the worst parts of people, people who don't realize they're being played.
Yeah.
It's sad, man. I mean, we're genuinely fucked.
Yeah, I mean,
it's so depressing. I feel so depressed to be human.
I'm trying to see the positive.
But I'm bringing back hope, bro.
I'm bringing back hope. Hope is coming back. You
got to be optimistic.
You got to be optimistic.
Seriously, I mean, that's why, like, with what I try to do on my own fucking content, I know you too, you don't really talk about anything. It's just like, let's just fucking talk about the shit that we care about.
Yeah.
Let's just put out good vibes because, like, at the end of the day, I can't control the vibes of the internet, but I can make my space be chill.
Yeah.
I can make it so that when people come to my channel, they can fucking watch something they want to watch without being fucking whipped up into a frenzy.
Yeah.
That's some bullshit.
We're literally doing the Gendo Rubuchi thing.
Yeah, man. I know.
Yeah.
I'm making the fucking vaccine. I'm kidding. No. I mean, but as like, what the fuck am I going to do?
Yeah. It's
about fucking Twitter being the most disgusting place on earth.
Oh, it's Twitter is a lot of it, but I think the monetization, it's always the monetization of I don't know. A lot of people want you to paint a picture that you are a ideological soldier fighting a war in something, there's enough real life war happening right now, but you always got to be a part of a movement or part of a war fighting against an enemy. Doesn't matter what that enemy is.
But it's like a lot of these people are just being used for ad rev, bro. It's all ad rev. You're just being used for fucking money.
Yeah.
And the billionaires are fucking laughing at you.
And I don't think there's anything inherently wrong about talking about negative things, of course.
No, of course not.
As long as you have the proper nuance there to strike up a conversation. But the problem is that, and I've experienced this firsthand covering Japan news, but just nuance is out the window for 99% of the time. People just don't want to have an actual conversation.
No, what's out the window is benefit of the doubt.
Benefit of that is out the window. That's true.
People are no longer willing. People will hear like one sentence out of like a 3-paragraph quote that you made, and they will misinterpret that as much.
Yeah,
as
they will
possible.
take.
I've been there.
They will always take the worst reading of you possible, no matter like if there is a spectrum of like what you said and how it can be interpreted. Even if you literally just didn't say it, they will always find the worst angle because people will get money. They'll get views for pushing the worst narrative possible and stoking people up. But, just saying nuance is dead is, I don't think fair because I think still majority of people, we're very lucky. I think Trash Taste views are pretty fucking chill. Whenever I read the comments, I see very sensible people. I think most people who watch the show have like, because look, we've been here for a very long time.
Yeah.
I think we don't often get many fucking headlines or things that blow up outside of our space. We do occasionally, obviously. But when I've read it, people are pretty level-headed when we talk about this stuff, and there is nuance, and people are starving for nuance. People want it. People want to have voices. Problem is, people are very loud. people who don't want it, people who want to
Yeah.
boil down things to simple articles, simple headlines.
Yeah.
There's no end to this, unfortunately. And I think Gen Horobuchiev's like kind of summed it up perfectly here in a way that kind of has, taken it, all of these consequences, boiled it down, and kind of seen that ultimately, people don't want it.
Because people just are tired. People are tired of
But also
drama.
Yeah.
You hear about things and that make you angry, and you can either get angry, or sometimes people are just like, damn, I just don't care anymore.
But then
You
again,
know?
like
That's why I'm online less now.
I play a lot of the really good kind of like, I guess, fucked up stuff like this, of the poison, if you will, has kind of been coming from indie games, indie productions, and that has been filling that void and kind of showing that there is at least still a very healthy demand for this stuff.
Yeah.
People still want this stuff, but
totally.
I think we also live in a space where we have to realize that big companies are not going to fund this stuff.